Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video, I'll be unboxing and doing a hands-on review of the Vivo T1. So here's the box. This is the brand new phone in the T series, which has pretty new interesting stuff. In India, this phone is available in two colors, Starlight Black and the Rainbow Fantasy. As for pricing, it's in the description below. Right now we have the Rainbow Fantasy color, but here's also a look of the Starlight Black color. Now the main highlights for this phone would be its Snapdragon 695 5G processor, a massive 6.5-inch display with 120Hz screen refresh rate, bigger battery with a sleek form factor. Overall, it's a pretty good package for power-hungry users and gamers. So without any further delays, let's have a quick unboxing. So here's the box once again. On the front it says T1 5G and it says Vivo in bold. On the back side we have the pricing and some more specs. Now let's unbox it. First we have a smaller box, it just says Vivo on it. Next we have the phone itself, followed by some barcode stickers. Next we get an 18 watts power adapter, followed by a USB Type-C charging cable. Finally, we get a SIM card ejector. Now coming back to the box, inside we get some documentation and a transparent silicone case. Back to the phone, let me just remove the cover. Now this is how the phone looks on the front and this is how the phone looks on the back. Now let's have a physical overview. On the back, this phone has a fiberglass with a nice matte finish at the top and a pretty cool reflective pattern underneath. Because of the matte finish, it prevents a lot of smudges and also helps to add in a bit of grip. At the top, we got the camera module with a triple camera setup and a single LED flash, and at the bottom, we got the Vivo branding. On the front, we have a massive 6.5-inch display with a dewdrop notch. Inside the notch, we got the front-facing camera, and above that, we got the earpiece and some sensors. Below the display, it's completely plain and the chin is slightly on the bigger side. Now for the sides, on the right side, we got the volume buttons followed by the power button, which also acts like a fingerprint scanner. Volume buttons are made of metal, they are sufficiently elevated and also have a nice clicky feel to them. On the top, we got the SIM card tray housing a nano SIM slot along with a hybrid SD card slot. So you can either use two nano SIMs or a nano SIM and an SD card. Following that, we got a secondary microphone for extra noise cancellation. On the left side, it's completely plain. And finally at the bottom, we got the audio jack followed by the primary microphone, USB Type-C charging port and the speaker grill. By the way, this phone has just a single speaker at the bottom, and unlike most of the phones, this phone also has a flat design for the edges, which actually makes the phone look a bit more premium than other phones. Now coming to the overall form factor, this phone actually fits pretty comfortably in the hand. It has a thickness of 8.25 mm and weighs just 187 grams. Now this is how the phone looks with the case on. It's just a free silicone case that we get inside the box. It gives you some basic protection, prevents smudges and some grip. That's it. Not too much in terms of drop protection. Now with that said, these are the complete specifications of this phone. On the rear, this phone has a triple camera setup with a 50MP primary camera followed by a 2MP camera for taking macro shots and another 2MP camera for taking portrait shots. On the front, we get a 6.58-inch IPS display with Full HD Plus resolution with 120Hz screen refresh rate and 240Hz sampling rate. When it comes to performance, this phone sports a Snapdragon 695 5G processor with Adreno 619 GPU with up to 8GB of RAM and up to 128GB of storage. This phone also has a new 5-layer turbo cooling system which can reduce the CPU temperature up to 10 degrees. So even for continuous gaming, CPU temperature won't be an issue. Now when it comes to the battery department, this phone has a massive 5000 mAh battery, supports fast charging and comes with an 18 watts power adapter inside the box. Now those are the specs. Now this is how the phone looks once we turn it on and set it up. This is the default home screen. This is how the basic user interface looks like. This is the app drawer, notification panel, and here's the settings page. Now this is about page. This phone is running FunTouch OS 12 based on Android 12 with January 1st security patch, which is pretty good. Now here's the storage section. Out of that 128GB of space, we get 106GB of space for our user apps and user data. And out of that 8GB of RAM, we get about 5.2GB of RAM free right out of the box, which is once again a pretty good thing. Now this is the camera user interface. It looks pretty similar to other Vivo phones. We got the default photo mode. On the left side we got the portrait mode and the night mode. On the right side we got the video mode and the more section for additional camera features. We got a pretty similar interface even for the front facing camera. These are some sample shots. Now let's test the speaker on this phone. It's just got a single speaker at the bottom, and this is how it sounds. Speaker on this phone is decently loud. It's good enough for media consumption, ringtones and alarms. Now let's test a fingerprint scanner. This phone has a side mounted fingerprint scanner and its performance is pretty good. It's fast and almost unlocks the phone instantaneously. Here's a quick preview. We also got the face unlock feature on this phone, and that too works really well. In good lighting conditions and even in low lighting conditions, face unlock works really well. It almost unlocks the phone instantaneously. Even in complete darkness, it's pretty fast and unlocks the phone within a second or two. Now this is the Vivo T1. Now most people might have already known Vivo T1 looks exactly similar to Vivo Y75 5G with a few major differences. Well, compared to the Vivo Y75 5G, on Vivo T1 we get a Snapdragon processor, a display with 120Hz screen refresh rate, and there's also some minor changes when it comes to the software features. Like 4D vibration is available on the Vivo T1 while it's not on the Vivo Y75. Anyway, these are just some major changes that are under the hood. When it comes to the overall looks, both phones are pretty much identical. Now when it comes to the performance of Vivo T1, I must say the overall performance is pretty good. I've used it for a couple of days and I didn't have any major issues. Personally, I really appreciate that 120Hz screen refresh rate display. That's definitely one of the most noticeable thing on this phone, especially if you're coming from a regular phone. So overall, I would say Vivo T1 is definitely a pretty good option, and in fact a very well balanced option where you get good performance, a better looking display, good cameras, bigger battery, and most importantly it's all packed into a very sleek form factor. So I'd say overall it's a very well packaged phone. So guys, what do you think about this phone? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you're planning to buy it, use the link in the description. It always helps the channel. With that said, this is Nikhil signing off. See you in my next video.